at that point, we were introducing a couple Nigerian dishes. Like, I was really getting into suya.
Yeah.
Like, I pick up my little girl from Dagenham, like a couple of days a week from school, and we always go eat in the area. And she'll always eat in the Subway, but I'm like, no, let's go to like Squires or something.
And my wife's Nigerian, so I know what you talk about.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah. And I'll sit and they'll look at me like, who's this guy coming in? They're like, and they cater for their people, man. Like to see me in there, and I love like food I haven't tried before. When I tried Squires and like all the cuts of meat and all the different like starches and asaro and goosey and moi moi, I'm like, what is this food, man? I started eating and I fell in love. The strong flavors, it just took over. I was addicted. And when I had tried suya for the first time, I'm like, what? Suya's it's just creamy, it's spicy. it's just you can't stop like putting it in your. I'm like, you know what? With moi moi, and then moi moi, I tried moi moi. It was fantastic. It was like steamed beans with an egg in it.
West African at heart, bro.
Man, and I bought like 20 moi mois. It was like £1.60 each, and it could feed you. You could be full for the rest of the day. That's good food, man. Yeah. And I brought it back, and I'm like, guys, try this. And my chefs, some of them knew what it was. I'm like, this is amazing. It was wrapped in a banana leaf. You bring it to like. It blew my mind, and I just got obsessed. And I'm like, you know what? After doing the whole vegan week, I thought, you know what? Let's just do a spin-off of Guanabana. But I wanna. Some people have to try this food. You know, how can I do so? How can I? And like, I was researching kuli kuli and like Nigerian peppers and I mean, I think we just tried it. Let's just do it, and we made a spice rub. One of my chefs as well, he makes great jollof rice and
and I've been in there, bro. The moment you opened, I walked past and I thought, let me try this out. You know, I mean, I've been in there. You lot do your thing.
The Ogoyan sauce, and so I had to learn. I bought as many books as I can. I worked with my other chefs as well, who it's from their country as well. So it's just we all worked together with a recipe, and in the beginning, no one would order the suya plates.
Because
and like a lot of people like. They see Moi Moi Island and they see my face. They're like,
"You gotta pass the checks."
And they walk in. They goes, "What do you know about my food?" And I'm like, "Listen, just try it." And I'll let them try it, and I'll just wait and I'll see what they say. For me, it's like, a lot of times, if they were disappointed, I would tell them, "Sit with me, tell me why are you disappointed? What went wrong?" And like, a couple of them, I pulled them back to say, "Come to the grill with me." And I'm working at like one guy I hired for a week. I was like, I'm gonna show you how to do this. I'm gonna show, and it was alright. His stuff was alright. But he showed me a technique as well, which it's the slow roast of the suya, and that kind of like releases the collagen and the spices. While I was doing too aggressive in the beginning, and so for me, like I'm passionate about it.
I can sense the passion. I think that's beautiful. The fact that everything you're making and going into sounds like it's fun to you. You know what I mean? It sounds like you're like a scientist. You're just figuring out the recipes and the formulas. And what's interesting is like what you're talking about with that guy. My first experience going into the place, I walked in there. I looked at the staff and I was like, okay, you look African, what should I order? I didn't pick myself. I said, you tell me because I need to be sure that what I mean. And that's a typical African kind of like relationship with their food. You got to pass the credibility checks before anything touches my lips.
It's served a bit differently as well. So we use the Goyan sauce and the Niger pepper sauce as almost like a condiment, on the jollof rice and the suya plates. So so we're trying a few different things, and we're getting. I'm asking a lot of my like Suya Man and Chimuro. She's opened up a place in Brixton as well. It's a new Nigerian restaurant out there. Check it out.
Oh, check it out. What's it called?
Chimuru, and Suya Man. But they came down. I called them up a couple of times. They're giving me tips of how to, perfect it.
I was introduced to my boy actually. He owns it's called Ago Chop. It's in Camberwell, and it's a Nigerian takeaway spot as well. I'll introduce you to
I've noticed for me it just because I never heard of suya before until like a couple years ago, a year and a half ago. I never heard it never kind of crossed my radar. But when I tasted it, it's just, and I feel the food as well is not represented enough.
It's not mainstream.
It's not mainstream at all, and I was thinking, why isn't this out there as much as it should be? But we wanted to give it a go, and it kind of It kind of, I mean, our suya's taken over. It's like almost like a race between the jerk plate and the suya plate. What's gonna do most for the day, you know? And the suya's it's catching up, man.
Bro, I can tell you're proud of your suya.
Yeah, bro.
I want to go try it again.
Yeah, man. We were playing with different cuts as well. So I was looking at different, like you were talking about the cuts earlier.
Yeah.
And I was given advice from a friend. She used tozo. It's the hump of the cow as well, and that's great marbling. I never heard of that cut before, man. Not really. You know,
You're educating me, bro.
Yeah, it was a great piece of, but I couldn't get hold of it readily enough. So we tried some sirloin steak to short ribs, and now we're just sticking with the short rib cut. Now it's a good fat to lean ratio, and yeah, it kind of works for us. So.
No, bro. After I'm gonna try it this week, and I'll mess it. I'll hit you up.
Let me know, bro. Like I'm still like.
Let's even get back to the business. I got a few more questions to ask you. These are like kind of just like taking it into the bit more. So I think what's interesting is you own. So real estate is a big part of your business. Are you into real estate? Because we had the last guest we had. He was a real estate company. Right. Are you into real estate outside of like restauranting, or is it?
No. You know why? I mean, a lot of times people tell me you should get into it. But my mind is just overwhelmed with just restaurants. And a big part, I think, working with my father when I was younger, or through like the early stages of one of the reasons why he didn't want to expand, like, come on, we got to expand, we got to grow this, it's a great brand, we got to push this further, this is a start of something, I think, special. He firmly believed in buying. No, we got to buy it. But there were so many obstacles to buying a property. Not one, the price, you know. But once you buy, you're tapped out. You can't use the cash for anything else, and that's where cash flow comes in. Like, but it's still, if we open up a business, I reckon, and we did the numbers, we could create a positive cash flow here, and from that positive cash flow, we could open up more. Yeah. And it's for, or you're gonna buy it and then just say, yeah, I'm the king of the castle, I bought it. then what? You know? Yeah. It doesn't make sense. For me, it was like I had to over-justify my way of thinking or my strategy to him, and that kind of stuck with me. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So now when I'm not working hand in hand with him, that's, if the numbers make sense, if I could pay the rent, pay the business rates, my wages, my cost of sales, I could do it, and it's going to make me a positive cash flow. That's where you start. You do the numbers first.
Always the numbers.
Always the numbers first. Then you can start looking at your passion. Then you can start looking at what your popular dish your family loves to eat, you know, that stuff. You can start doing that, but always make the numbers work first.
Yeah, I hear that.
You know.
So and moving on from the number side of the thing, I want to talk about. So you have this food strip. Is your goal to take over that whole street?
When I was younger, I told my pops, like, listen, we gotta monopolize
the block.
I just learned that word, monopolize. I like that word. It sounds good. You know, I didn't like the fact, I said that somebody else would open, and a couple people opened throughout my time, and I'm like, okay, they're competitors now. Yeah. You know, and I always like that strategy. And like, how can I monopolize on this micro level? Yeah. And it'll be opening up different shops. And that's what forced us creating different brands, because you can't open up the same thing
over and over again.
But what that allowed us to do as well, now we've got that pocket in a relatively cheap rental market compared to central London. We could test out concepts and new ideas and understand, is it viable? Can it pay the market rates here? Yeah. And plus more. If it's viable, it's got legs, can I then go maybe open up a more kind of centralized location where it has more footfall and more kind of more awareness?
What was it like opening up in Chinatown? For me, Chinatown seemed like one of the most inaccessible parts of London. Like,
yeah, that was mad, because May, she got the phone call. We get regular requests for franchise
your brand
permission for Mamasons, for other restaurants, and all the time. But we got this call from Chinatown, the landlord, saying that we have a property there, we want you to open up.
Really?
Come take a look. They actually reached out to us.
What was that on the basis of? Just the success of Mamasons?
I think Camden and the social media attraction we were gathering there. A lot of people were following us online, and a lot of people were talking about us, and it was just a small little ice cream parlour. Yeah. And they found us through Instagram. Actually, wow. I think a lot of the agents, part of the agents' jobs, to find out who's the new cool cat in the block. Yeah. I mean, if they find you, they'll relate back. So a lot of these big landlords now, what they try and do with, Box Park, the Shaftesbury Group, Westfield, they're curating their space. Yes. They're looking for who would fit within my location. It's not just about plain old, you're going to pay the rent, cool. No, they want to make sure you're right for the location. You'll add value to the overall kind of vision. You're going to bring a certain demographic in, and if that's the case, you got half your foot's in the door.